da Vinci didn't really make that many paintings of his total output, which is impossible to know exactly. Only about 20 paintings survive to the modern day, and many of these are unfinished, of course, of these 20 or so, to the Mona Lisa and The Last Supper are arguably the most famous and second most famous paintings in the world. But there's a less well-known canvas one that was painted around the same time as the Mona Lisa that I think may be an even better example of Leonardo's genius. It's called The Virgin and Child with Saint Anne, and it depicts the infant Jesus and a small lamb huddled with his mother, the Virgin Mary and his grandmother, Saint Anne, in front of a craggy, mountainous landscape. Okay, so what's the first thing you notice in this painting? The first thing I see is the composition of the bodies in a triangle or a pyramid, a shape that was popular for group compositions in the Renaissance, but which was executed most spectacularly by Leonardo himself 20 years earlier in The Virgin of the Rocks, which had a major influence on other painters like Raphael, for example, as you can see in these paintings. The pyramid is a shape of stability and strength, and it unifies the figures in a greater whole. Triangular shapes are also effective tools for getting the eye to move around the canvas. The viewer can't help but glance from corner to corner, and Leonardo accentuates this movement with eye lines. Our attention naturally gets drawn to the apex of the pyramid, where Saint Anne looks with a Mona Lisa-like smile at her daughter, who looks down at her son, who meets her gaze and sends you back up in the opposite direction. The lamb, which is also on that line, and which the infant Jesus grapples with aggressively, is the one point of tension in this otherwise peaceful grouping. This sacrificial lamb symbolizes the eventual sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. In this way, moving from the apex of the pyramid to its bottom right corner is actually a trip through time from the past to the present to the future, and that timeline also extends along a three-dimensional axis. The lamb is in front of Jesus, who's in front of Mary, who's in front of Anne, but on this axis, it goes even further behind, and we're launched into the geological past. These mountains, these bones of the earth, suggest a deep time so deep that it conflicts with the Christian sense of the age of the world that reflects a larger conflict in the Renaissance between religion and a growing appreciation for natural science, which is embodied in no person more than Leonardo da Vinci.